let me just do this, this, this. Actually, wait. That looks good. I like that. I need to figure out. Oh man, you can hear me typing. It's no good. You shouldn't be able to hear me typing. Yes. Alerts and chat. Okay, Streamlabs, Streamer. Oh, did it work? General chat? Hey, it totally worked. Now I can do jank dev. And now, fuck yes, it worked. And, no.
Hello?
Hello. You can hear me?
Hello, you hear me?
Do you hear me? Oh fuck, you don't hear. I hear you. I hear you.
Okay, talk.
Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah, there we go. That's
okay.
cool.
Okay, it was your side. Oh, now there's a huge nasty echo. Ugh, yuck.
Yeah, from of you?
Yeah, of me.
What the hell, really?
I think it's okay now. I think we're good.
I have headphones I can put on anyway. Let me just do that. I'm just gonna go to my desk and everything.
Okay.
I was gonna try and figure out how to like stream the iPad and even maybe the Steam Deck, because I've been playing games on Steam Deck and I thought it would be cool to like show you kind of a game that I've been playing.
Okay.
Or for us to do like little game, like not let's plays, but like going through the mechanics and stuff, and like why they're good and stuff, and like maybe looking at games that would specifically work with our framework and kind of going over stuff like that. But I don't think that's the only thing we should do, but I think it's like a cool little thing we could do half an hour of every stream or something.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, let me just grab all the devices I need and then get on webcam and everything.
How do I not know how to do this? Oh, broadcast options.
Yeah. How have you been?
Good.
Last week was hard with the boys?
Yeah, we were all fucking sick as shit.
You as well?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
That might be sick, eh? Okay. Like so. And like that. Yeah. So I've been working on the game quite a lot actually. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Progress is going well, I'd say. I got like stuff to show you, but it's not really like the it's not the game loop yet.
Okay. English. Gambling. No, we're not gambling. Hell yeah. Are you... Where are you? Are you here? Oh no, he left. James is not here. He's doing... Oh, he is out of Discord entirely. Oh, he's probably just connecting to something else. Streamlabs alerts. Chat box. Wait. Do I have a Streamlabs account? Let's see. Nope. Let's just log in with Twitch. Did this work? Oh wow, it worked. No. Ultra? What? I don't want Ultra.
Really?
Free. Yes, I hear you. Hello.
Yeah, I hear you, but it's not going through my headphones, which is annoying.
Oh, that is annoying.
I mean, I don't hear you because it's not coming from your headphones.
Let's see. Let's get some widgets here. Chat highlight, spin wheel. I just want a chat box. Here we go. I think.
I hear you now. Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Me.
Do browser.
I'm not sure my screen. Let me camera on.
Oh man, you sound so much worse now.
I sound worse now?
Yeah, you sound terrible. Oh, but I see you.
Weird. Yeah, that's probably because it's coming through these. You see me?
Mm-hmm.
There's just there's like an adapter I have that lets me plug in my Blue Yeti, and I didn't think I moved it. I thought I left it right here, but it's not here, so I've got to just find that, because I can't plug my Blue Yeti in without it, because it's like a USB, like an old USB instead of a new one.
Nice.
So yeah, give me a second. Have you soundproofed for the boys at all?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay, so you gotta be quiet, I guess.
Yeah. I'm still whisper mode.
You're still ASMR vibes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh man, you can sponsors. Chat delay. Huh. Custom bad words. Oh, cool.
Okay, it's here.
I'm trying to icon.
I should have been better set up for this. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay. I think this is okay for now. We have no chatter, so it's hard to see, but where do I wish I put this? Probably here. And then...
Okay, is that better?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's the Blue Yeti.
That's way better.
It's amazing how much of a difference it makes, eh? I'm just gonna grab my glasses, actually.
Wait, what? Meteor mic. Okay, I can be heard now. Wait, why isn't this working? Yeah. Hey. What the fuck?
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Cool.
Device default. Deactivate? Activate.
Okay.
Wait, why isn't this
Why
working?
don't I
Huh.
see? So it looks like you've done a lot of crazy work on the servers and everything, and stuff like that. It's really good.
Oh yeah, thanks. Oh, I forgot to record.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the VOD is recording on Twitch, so it should be. We should be.
So we're sticking with with Twitch, right?
Yeah, yeah. I dropped the YouTube stream.
Okay. Why? Like it's just easier to just do Twitch on its own, like better features and stuff.
It's mainly because like. Just I think what comes down to building a community on stream is like actually building a community on like Discord or Reddit or whatever it is, and I think that if you build a community off of Twitch, then you'll be fine on Twitch, because I don't think Twitch and YouTube themselves have good like outreach. You have to do like your own outreach, and then I think just like setting up a page and making it look nice is easier when you're just doing it with one platform. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just sticking to one platform right now. And
Okay.
yeah,
Makes sense.
Yeah, I just don't want to deal with all that garbage.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, that's I've been working on like a bunch of I guess content stuff, and just like, are you watching the stream right now?
I am not. I'm trying to.
It's okay.
It's because I'm trying to download something that'll let me. Fuck off. Sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you, even though it really hurt my feelings, but that's okay.
It's because my freaking Mac password isn't working.
My webcam quality is so bad. I need a new webcam, I think. Actually, I think if I do, I can do a window capture, and then if I capture Discord, and then I can do this.
There's always something. It takes so much work to get configured properly, and once you're configured, it's fine, but...
Dude, I don't know why Discord doesn't like my webcam. It's really annoying. No, it really doesn't. I have to learn how to use the OBS digital and then why is this behind that? Top? Oh, it was okay, that's why. And then if I do, oh my god, this. Cool. That's a janky ass setup, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Pretty jank, yeah. Yeah, it looks like shit.
Oh, because you're like, oh, okay, I'm looking at the stream now.
Look, I got some transitions. Look.
Oh shit. Oh, that's between different kinds of screens.
Yeah, like different
Oh,
screen
that's cool.
setups.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
I think this one. Nope. Oh no, I don't want display capture. I want. Oh no, I do. Wait. Get out of here, display capture. So now if I. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I'm there. I'm still learning a lot about like all this setting up stuff. So.
Yeah, me too. Like, I want to look into OBS better because there's got to be ways to use OBS to like properly stream stuff and like get the video in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like OBS has a lot of plugins and stuff. I'm sure there's even plugins that let you like stream other devices remotely, and then you can like compose it all in OBS and then get a single stream out of that and send that through.
Probably.
I don't know how you do that when there's two people remote though.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'd have to figure that out.
Yeah, we can look into that. I'll be back in a sec. I just gotta get the charger for my Steam Deck.
Yeah, go for it. What was I doing? Oh, that's what I was doing. I want to let's switch back to this. We got the Reddit one. We just need Twitter. It's the only one missing. Okay, let's just make a duplicate. Control J. Control J on Krita is how you duplicate. I don't know why. Oh, James is back. I'm probably gonna get rid of our old server.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because I discovered that there are like Discord templates with these like built for communities already. So I just found one and I was like, oh, okay. I downloaded a bot. Did you see that you got a welcome?
Where should I get that welcome?
In the welcome channel.
The welcome channel. Okay. Yeah, let me just try and do that. The problem is that I'm now controlling. Oh, there we are. Yeah, okay, cool. So, in the welcome channel, I did get a welcome. It says, "Welcome Hex the Gamer."
Hell yeah.
That's exciting stuff.
Isn't it? And it was all automatic.
Mart Dubois.
Oh yeah, that's my alter ego.
What we've always called you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what people still call me that, yeah.
Marty boy.
I am making the last banner. Do you like the banners for Twitch?
So I think I got something cool going too. And let me just see if this works.
Okay.
So
I want to see your
I'm gonna
cool
share my
thing,
screen.
too.
Share my screen.
Do it.
Entire screen like this. See my entire screen. There we are. Grab that up here. And then how do I get this to go full screen? There we are. Very
Songs
cool.
of Conquest.
This. Okay. Do you see my screen?
I do.
Do you see Songs of Conquest?
I do.
Okay, so this is my Steam Deck. I'm streaming my Steam Deck right now.
Oh, nice. I didn't know you had a Steam
Yeah.
Deck.
It's new. I got it recently.
Oh, dope.
But maybe what we can do is do this test quick, and then we can decide. Like what I thought we could do was sometimes like go through games that I've been playing on the Steam Deck and like talk about why they're good, why they're bad, what kinds of things we might want to take from them.
Yeah.
You know?
I had that exact same idea, actually.
Can you hear the sound?
No. Of.
You can't hear the game sound, eh?
I don't think so.
Okay, one sec. The sound got really loud. Can I turn that down?
Whoa, what the fuck is this game?
Give me a sec.
I don't like pixels, James.
There's no options. I can't hear a word you're saying. Oh, it's there.
Suck it, James.
Okay, talk again.
Hello.
Okay, cool. So that's working. And I guess the problem is that I need to be... How do I get out of this? There we are. Okay, so I probably just need to share my screen with audio. Stream settings, stream quality, change window report problem. I'll stop the stream and I'll reset it. I think I just need to say share audio also. Is there not an option? There is an
Can
option.
people on stream hear you? Let me
Oh, entire
double check.
screen. There is an option. Oh man, that's
Oh,
a
yeah, they
badass
can.
spider. Do you know where the audio option is for on Discord?
I think when you do share your screen, is there not an option? Yeah, there should be. So when you screen, then also share system audio. There's an option when you screen share.
Where?
When you click on what window you want to stream, and then Discord has like options.
It doesn't seem to be giving me that option, eh?
I don't know because I can't see your screen.
Yeah, I know. But I don't see it anywhere. So like if I wonder if like I can share the screen and then click share the screen and okay, actually why don't you share your screen and show me?
How can I share your how can we share our screen to show each other
Oh
the
wait,
share
yeah,
screen
we can't.
options?
We can't. Okay, share screen, entire screen. I see, okay, so what I see in the options menu is what you're streaming, entire screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I see. And then we have streaming channel, staff call, stream quality, smooth video, and then I have resolution and frame rate, and that's it.
Let me check. Are you? Oh, because you're sharing an application. If you go.
No, I'm sharing screen.
Oh, a screen, and there's like
Yeah.
right under the what you're streaming screen one. There's no also share system audio.
Nope.
Oh fuck.
Doesn't say it anywhere.
And you're streaming on
Must
your
be permission or something.
Oh, do you think? You should
Yeah.
have all the same. Like, let's just give you all of the permissions.
Let's take a screenshot. I'm gonna send you a screenshot so you can
Oh
see.
yeah, screenshots exist. I forgot about screenshots.
Okay, so I'll put it in where? What channel should I put this in?
Put it in one
Staff
of the
general?
private. Yeah, staff general is fine. Yeah.
Oh, frig, where's my screenshot?
I even set banned words in our Discord so people can't say racial slurs.
That's good.
I
That's
think-
important.
They can't say the racial slurs that I thought to add
Mm-hmm.
because there might be some racial slurs I forgot.
I can't figure out how to copy this screenshot. Wait, screenshot yours. Screenshot yours into it. I want to see it
Oh yeah.
where it's supposed to be.
There you go. Let me. Hey, are you watching the stream? I think I
Yeah,
have a view.
I don't see that for
Oh,
some reason.
really?
Also share system audio. Do not see it. So I'm gonna have to debug this later.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we can do it without audio. Like, do you need the audio of the game? I think it would just make it a bit nicer to listen to if there's audio and we're commenting over it.
Maybe you could play it so loudly I hear it through your microphone.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be great quality. But
I
you know what? Screw it. Let's just
Can
let's just do it.
Can you pantomime it? No, that's not the word. That's not pantomiming. Isn't the word? What's the word?
Just mime it, or you mean like I think I know what you're talking about. Anyway, do you see the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see it?
Yes, now I do.
Okay, so we'll figure out the audio later, but I think we'll just have to talk a lot over it, just to, I don't know, to...
I can play
You
some
know,
music
keep it-
actually
keep it
on my
entertaining.
side, so it doesn't sound too boring.
Yeah, yeah. So, Songs of Conquest, this game is a Heroes 3-like. Basically. It's
so
like a modernized Heroes 3, okay?
let's go.
And I think what's really interesting about it, I think we'll revisit this game later and we'll do like a custom game. But for now, I think I can show you everything I want to show you in the campaign that I've been playing.
Okay.
So we'll just continue the campaign and I'll kind of show you some of the stuff I noticed, because I think what's really interesting about this game is the choices they made in terms of what they kept similar to Heroes 3 and what they decided to change, you know? Because Heroes 3 is such a classic game, and like if you're gonna make a Heroes 3, like everyone's gonna want it to be like exactly the same, you know? And it's not exactly the same. The designer or the team, I don't know how many people are there, didn't carbon copy Heroes 3 and make like a thing. They actually added in some interesting changes, and I think they did them on purpose. Well, they did. Well, they obviously did them on purpose. They wouldn't do them if it wasn't on purpose. But I think they had interesting reasons that I'm guessing at for why they did certain things. You know, and I think in a lot of the cases it worked, but I think in some cases it's not that great game design. Even though I understand like maybe the appeal, but just to show you, right? Like, so this is my hero.
That's some crisp
And-
art, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's great. Like, they've done a lot of things to like speed shit up, like compared to Heroes 3, so that you're not bored all the time, like managing like stuff that you don't really care about managing. But anyway, like just to explain, maybe quickly, I'll give you an overview of what's going on here. I got two heroes, right? There they are, and I can switch between them. If I go to my wielder, they're called wielders in this game. You have all this information about them, right? The offense, defense, just like in Heroes 3. But they have these essences, like the arcana and the creation and stuff, right? And this is how the magic system works, and it's different from Heroes 3. It's not like a mana-based system. It's a, it's like a different kinds of mana-based system that work in more a Hearthstone-y kind of way, where it's about the amount of time you spend in a round, basically. Like, in the more time you spend in a battle, the more these numbers increase based on like certain factors, right?
Interesting. That's cool. That's cool.
Which, yeah, very interesting. Like a very interesting change. Also, one thing that they did, which I think is really ballsy, because it's Heroes 3, right? And Heroes 3 has certain properties, is that they limit the number of units that can go in a stack. Right?
Oh,
And
so you can't just have these,
Heroes
like,
3 is all about
masses.
like accumulating ridiculous stacks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so this is interesting. And I actually think like at the beginning I was like, okay, interesting. It's interesting that this was your decision, but I actually think this was a really good choice. Because what it does is it forces you to actually do things that you never do in Heroes 3. Like, it forces you to put garrisons in cities when your heroes are full. And it forces you to think about like putting garrisons in gold mines and stuff, you know?
Oh, right. Okay.
Which you can do in Heroes 3, but no one ever does it because the best strategy is just to put all of your resources into one hero, make them as powerful as possible, and
Can you do
give
that
them
in Heroes
basically
3?
everyone.
You can garrison mines? I thought
Yeah.
that was Heroes 5.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even realize you can do it, but yeah, you can.
What? No, I have to Google this now.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. Like, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in Heroes 5 you can definitely do it, but
Yeah.
in Heroes 3 I'm pretty sure you can too. Yeah. Anyway, so a lot of it is very similar to Heroes 3 though, but they did another thing. Like, when you build, this is like your city center, right? And then your city center, as it upgrades, it gets these like plots that are empty, and you have to like click X, and then you can build certain buildings on certain sizes of plots. And you can't build all the buildings, so you have to think about what buildings you want in what places. You have to accumulate towns so you have more plots to build buildings on, and stuff like that.
Oh, so
You know?
instead of just having like the static city,
Yeah.
you build outwards.
Yeah, but you don't like you when you upgrade the city, you just end up with more static places. So this city's large settlement, but it started as small. And when it was small, there were only 2 small building slots, right? And then it got to medium, and there became a small and a medium building spot. And then in large, it gets another medium and a large building site. Right. Yeah, and it works pretty well. Like, it's an interesting choice. It changes the way you have to think, but it still feels very close to Heroes 3. But I'll show you the combat look.
Yeah,
because I
now I'm
think
curious
that's
about this.
important. Yeah, so I think I'm out of movement points right now, so I'll just end the.
God, you suck at this game.
I can't even end the turn properly.
Oh, Jesus
Here we
Christ.
are. So this is the deployment screen. Everyone has like the deployment options. There's no skill for that anymore. And yeah, you get given these like random spots on your hex grid where you can like move guys around. So, for example, I might put him back here. And I'm going to explain why I'm doing some of this strategy because there's interesting reasons. So, there's a design choice they made in this game that I'll do this and I'll explain once we're in the battle board. So, there's a design choice they made in this game, which I get how like it sounds cool on paper, but I personally don't think it's that good. And that is the way the spells work. If you look at the hero in the top left, right, you see they've got like 8 blue and like 1 orange. Yeah, so these are like different mana pools, okay? And when you have different amounts of that kind of mana, you can cast certain spells. And if you go to the spell book, these are the spells you can cast, okay? So the columns are like the different mana types. So this is blue mana, which is order. This is chaos mana, and stuff like that. And so you have these like 5 columns of different spells. And then you have these ones, which are like combination manas. So you need 9 order and 9 chaos, I think, or 9 whatever, to be able to cast this spell.
Okay,
Right?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so, but the thing is, the way that you accumulate mana is in 2 ways. The first way is that the hero themselves have a certain amount of mana generation every round. Okay? And I should really figure out how to like somehow draw on the screen and point to stuff in these games because that would be really cool, I think, visually.
Yeah.
But anyway, like you see at the bottom of the screen how there's like the initiative order,
Yeah.
and then there's that 2, right?
This is the round?
That
Every round you
that's
get
the
more mana?
round.
Okay.
Yeah. So every round, at the beginning of every round, each hero gets the mana that's related to themself as a hero. Okay, but also, what happens is every unit, if you inspect the unit, provides a certain essences. They're called in this game, not mana. They're called essences. And if you look at the bottom, it says like order creation. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. What were you
No,
saying?
no. Go. Sorry, I was just agreeing.
So, yeah, or essences order creation. Every unit, when they start their turn, provides you with that mana, that essence.
Gotcha.
So, like, for example, you probably didn't see it, because I already did it. But I'll move this guy forward, and when the archer becomes the next guy, you're gonna see like mana fly from him up to the hero, right?
That's very subtle. I barely noticed.
Yeah, it's very
yes.
subtle, but it produces mana. And the reason that like maybe this is a good choice, maybe I ought to play it more, but at the moment I get the feeling that I don't like it because it means that for certain kinds of mages, you have to choose certain kinds of units to optimize against the mana that you want, the essences that you want for certain spells. But you might not want to use that particular unit, you know? So you're like, oh, I gotta take an archer. I don't really want to take an archer, but I'm gonna do it because I'm a mage and that's the essence that mage uses. And so it like gives units like this dual role that to me isn't really related. Like they're completely, they're things that I think should be independent that have suddenly become locked, you know? In a way that doesn't feel like I want to think about, if that makes sense. Like I don't want to be like, oh frig, I want the archers, but the archer has this essence, and then these guys are like maybe less good for my strategy combat wise, but because they have this essence for my spell strategy, I might take them. Like it's like, to me at least, isn't like a great feeling in terms of the way that I have to strategize over that particular part of the game. You know? And that's like my one critique so far is that particular mechanic. I don't really like it that much. But the rest of everything else is just done very, very well, I find. You I don't know what you think. I don't know if you have any particular opinions on that without having played it yourself.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say whether it makes the game interesting or not.
Yeah, I think it's like complexity that isn't interesting. Like most of the things they've added is interesting, but I think that piece of complexity is like too much or just not useful. You know what I mean?
I think my question about it would be like, okay, so in Heroes,
Yeah.
basically you're always gonna have the same units. You're gonna like depending on your faction, right?
Yeah.
So if you're like the humans, you're gonna have the archers, the griffins, the knights,
Yeah.
the peasants, the archangels, whatever.
Yeah.
How is that different here? Because depending on your faction, if you always have the same units, how does that like that mana giving mechanic even like how is it even relevant?
Oh, because different units give completely different things. So like these guys give 2 creation and a chaos.
Right.
These guys give.
But
Yeah.
you're always gonna have archers and troubadours. Is that a
Oh,
troubadour?
but every stack of the troubadours will give you that when they. So there's actually like one of the interesting things about having done this, which actually is kind of cool, is that it encourages you to split your troops, because if you have 2 units of 5 footmen, each of them will give an order mana. But if
Yeah.
you have 1 unit of 10, it'll only give 1, right?
So
And so this guy, the reason I held this guy back is because I don't want him to die, and I want to just farm his
mana.
essence.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, farm his essence, James.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I don't know. It sounds like a pretty cool mechanic to me. Like just at face value, like it's like a different aspect to managing your troops. Like how can I manage combat effectiveness as well as like mana, like efficiency?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess, like, it's funny because as I was explaining it and complaining about it, I was like thinking, like, actually, that's kind of cool, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. I just, yeah, I'm gonna have to play the game a little more, I think, before I really have an opinion about that particular part, because that's the most out there difference I find. It's like the thing that I'm like, okay, that's really different to how Heroes 3 operates, and it causes you to have to strategize over a whole new dimension that isn't there in Heroes 3, right?
Because
Not that the game has to be the exact same as Heroes 3. It's just that stood out to me, you know.
Yeah. Well, because to me, like you were saying, one of the interesting things about this game is that the units actually have max stacks, and I think that this mechanic of giving you mana per like troop type, right? So if you have 10 stacks, you get the more mana than like a single 20 stack. I think that's a good way of teaching the player that like troop management is like an important aspect of this game, or like that how you really have to think about how you're stacking your troops to optimize your
Yeah, that's
combat
true.
effectiveness. I think it's like
That's
a very
very true.
interesting teaching mechanic as well.
Yeah. One thing I also like about what they did is you have to sacrifice level abilities to get more troops. So like, for example, this guy's only level 8, and I haven't upgraded his command very much. Every time you level up, you can choose between 2 abilities or command. Okay? And command allows you to have more troops in your army.
Sucks.
So when
I
you
see.
start, you can only field 3 units, you know?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I think this game would be really good multiplayer, actually, because it's, you know, the problem, like, we would always play Heroes 3 at your place, right? Or Heroes
Yeah.
5. And it would always boil down to us, like, just pouring resources into one dude and then having one battle that, like, basically was the game. Like, we would do that one battle and be like, okay, I'm dead now. You're just going to walk into my main base and take everything, right?
That's generally how Heroes games go, though.
Yeah. In this game, I feel like there's a bit of that, but they've dampened it a bit in such a way that you could more interestingly kind of have multiple strong heroes, you know, with
Yeah.
decent armies and
Mhm.
like well defended bases,
Mhm.
that makes it a bit more of a still a push and pull, a resource push and pull, and an attempt to like kind of snowball the other person,
Yeah.
but with a bit more like ability to make mistakes, you know. Um,
I
yeah.
feel
So
like
here's the level up screen. Look.
tutor, combat training, command. Okay. Oh, okay. So you can choose a skill or upgrade command. I see.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's also very interesting because,
Yeah.
yeah, it. I think their whole like troop and their whole like kind of like combat organization system, uh, really, how do I say this? It lends itself to like, uh, wait, what the fuck am I trying to say? My fried ass brain. Yeah. So basically, it not only does it allow for like multiple interesting combats per like game, but it makes those combats not drag out, because I feel like in Heroes 5 those combats can drag on forever, and then like they lose all of the punch at the beginning because, oh, my stack of 5,000 units
Yeah.
hits
Yeah.
your stack of 4,000 units, and
Yeah, for
500 of
sure.
your units die, and now we're gonna stand in the same place for the next
And
10
just hit
rounds
each other
and
back
just
and
hit
forth.
each
Yeah.
other over and over again.
That's so true.
Whereas
That's
this,
so Heroes 3.
yeah, exactly. Whereas this, it's like, because they limit how many units you can have,
Yeah.
it makes it so that those combats are like more bombastic, and
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah, you can get the edge.
And like you can even do maneuvers, right? Like where you send in
Mhm.
a less good hero quickly and then the other guy. Also, it means like because of the way the mana system works, you can't like exhaust the mana of a mage, right? And then go in and just destroy them. Like spell wielders are always going to be able to cast their spells, and you
Yeah.
can't do anything about it. And that's good, I think.
I
You know?
think so too. Yeah, because
Yeah.
in Heroes, when you ran out of mana, you're just like, well, if your hero's a spellcaster, you're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, they made some great choices with this game. Highly recommend it. Like, so far I've played like I don't know how many hours, maybe 30, I think it said. 30 hours, really?
Wait, really?
That seems like a lot. No, it
And
must be less than that.
and you're only now
Um,
coming to the revelation that this mana mechanic is actually might be good.
yeah, well, it's not that it's bad, it's that like every time I've interacted with it in terms of strategizing, I've been like, oh, I don't want to pay attention to this. But like the
Mhm.
more I'm getting used to the game, the more it's becoming relevant, you know?
All right, I see. Yeah.
But like this, I think I have to take this one, this improved skill, because that's so good. The +1 retaliation,
Oh,
is so
fuck.
good.
Oh, that sounds
You know,
busted as shit.
I mean, it would be great to get an extra guy, but like I already have +20% damage with all my guys. If I get the retaliation, it's just too,
That's disgusting.
it's too great. Yeah. But see, I know on this mission right now because I'm gearing up because at some point, I haven't quite figured out when, a dude comes to attack me and he has like a really strong army. So I'm trying to like make sure that this place, because I don't want it to die, I want to keep this place really defended. So I'm like trying to keep troops in there because like look, when you put towers, when you put these towers in your
Mhm.
base, on in your defenses, you get like a ballista and stuff that's going to defend for you.
Okay.
And you get these troops for free. Like you don't have to buy these guys. They just end up in your army on top of what you already have.
That's cool. Okay.
And you can draft troops and put in like some defenders, but there's only 2 that you can put. And then you can put a wielder in. So that place at the top that says place wielder inside the building, you can put a wielder in the base, right, to like get the bonus of this. And I think that's really good because it means that like you can be more powerful defending and weaker attacking, and be forced to kind of like bunker up and force the enemy to like attack you because your defenses are really strong, but your wielder can't go out into the field and beat the guy without the extra help,
I see.
you know?
Okay.
And that's always a good mechanic I find in these kinds of strategy games. Like Rome Total War has that, and it makes for a really interesting attack defense scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Like you always want defense to be easier than attacking, so that people have that time to like ramp up their resources. Because if it's too easy to attack, you don't need to be that much ahead of the other guy, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then you can make mistakes. So I think I'm gonna like draft some troubadours and draft this guy because of the amount of mana they give.
Yeah.
You know? Actually, no, I think I need archers to defend. I think even though they give less mana, the archers are going to be useful.
So you draft them into the tower, and those
Yeah.
drafted troops are also added into your army.
Yeah,
The
so the
defense army.
drafting is into the village. So like you can always draft two into the village. The towers give you garrisons for free of non-upgraded troops. So these
Yeah.
aren't upgraded. And then they also give you ballistas if you upgrade.
Okay.
And so yeah, and so anyway, yeah, so it's just a fun game. I also like there's little things they added too, which are really great, like the enemies when you fight these guys. They're not necessarily all this type of unit. So you'll fight the Fae in the wild, and they'll have like an ogre and 2 units of the flying.
That's nice. The only time
Yeah.
that would happen in Heroes is if you go into like a crypt or something, you know?
Yeah, exactly. There was like special events where you knew that was gonna happen, but it wasn't
Yeah.
just the wild events. Yeah.
Yo, go fight that big
kinda
demon
cool.
thing. I bet you could take it.
Oh no, this guy is my scout. He has 1 militia.
Yeah, you're fine. You're good. You got it. Go for it. Do it.
I'm going this way.
Do it, you bitch. Do it.
No. I'm not gonna let you ruin my campaign. Here we are.
You've
Let's
already
do this.
ruined
But
it by virtue of playing it, James.
I swear, oh, he's coming now. It's turn 20. I should have known. I don't think I can get back in time. Fuck. That's really bad.
Oh,
So we might see a defense with just the garrison. They're gonna be super weak because they don't have the
you're
buffs
very
of the
good.
hero.
You're gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, but it's okay because this town's better. So if I can just like
Is that a town right above you as well? Like right
this
above
here,
your...
this.
No, up,
No.
No, right above your hero. Above your
Oh,
right.
this.
Yeah. What's that?
Oh, that's an amber mine.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
There's 3 special resources in this instead of 5.
Oh my god,
But
that's
let me-
right. That's so smart.
Yeah,
Dude, have 5 special resources is just like too much.
it's so much.
Do you really need
Oh, wait,
that
what?
many? I guess it kind of makes sense because there are so many factions, and I think if you had, I think it would make it, cause like, if you get, if you have humans and then you get a demon town, you need mercury
Yeah.
for the demon town, and if you have low mercury income,
Mhm.
you won't snowball as hard.
Yeah, I think this game has 4 factions. If I'm
Okay, so
I
that makes
remember
sense then. Yeah, that makes sense. Because if you had like
Yeah.
8 factions and then you get another faction that you're like really strong on with econ, then you would just snowball and destroy everything.
Yeah. Okay, there we are. Did I get the troubadours? I
Yeah.
did get the troubadours. That's why.
Get more. Do it.
I am. I'm just trying to do it because the
Why don't
guy's
I
coming.
turn
He's gonna
gray?
pop up here. See, look, this guy here.
Oh, he looks like.
And
a
so
oh, you're gonna make it.
I
You'll be
don't-
there.
I don't think I can get to here. I don't think I can get there, get the guys. I think I gotta go straight here. I don't know if I have enough movement. The one thing I can't figure out is where it tells me how much movement I have left.
Do you have to go to
defend
each
with the
house to
wielder.
draft troops, or can you draft them all from one
I
place?
think so. I think so. I'm not sure though. So look. Maybe, I don't know. Can I draft? No, I can't draft troops into my hero from here. You know, because I would love to go grab those guys, but I'm scared that I won't have enough movement points.
You gotta just do it. You gotta
Oh no,
go
I
for it.
see now. It's in the top left, just to the top right of my hero. I think I can do it. So if I send out the defending wielder, go here, like this, and grab all these dudes, and that'll fill up some of those. Okay, I have quite a I've lost this mission like 3 times already, because I'm never strong enough to fight this guy.
He's gonna
But
fuck
I
you
think
up.
I'm strong enough this time.
Oh yeah. I don't buy it.
Yeah. Because I didn't have walls or any drafted troops at all last time.
Mm.
And the trick was to make sure that you freaking...
Oh damn. this is intense. This battle
But
looks
the
so much
arch-
more like involved. See, that's
Yeah, it is.
that's what's sick about this game now. Like, I'm already enjoying it because the battle looks so much more interesting than Heroes. Heroes, you just line all of your units up, like in a
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
in a straight line, and then
100%.
they just like bash together.
Yeah, basically. So I'm gonna keep. That's exactly what happens in Heroes. I'm gonna keep my troubadours back, and these guys can buff my dudes.
Mm.
They have like an ability to buff my dudes.
What does
There's a
being on
spell
the
they
high
have.
ground do?
Increases range, increases damage.
Oh, nice. I figured.
High ground really matters in this game. Actually, they made that matter a lot.
There is no high ground in Heroes.
Yeah, there isn't. But you know what though? Like the cool thing about this game and the reason I really like kind of looking at it and stuff and seeing and
Oh, he's an undead.
what am I trying to say?
dude. Yo, the units look so
Yeah.
fucking cool in this game.
Yeah, they're really good. This one's cool.
Yeah,
These
look
guys,
at that
these
three-headed weird
skeleton spider thing. Yeah, it's awesome. But so the one thing I really like about this game is that like not that I like about the game, but what I like about like studying this and talking about the game mechanics is that the framework we're building is made to make this kind of game.
Yeah.
You know, like this is exactly the kind of game it targets. Turn-based games, right? Turn-based board games.
Yep.
You know.
A roguelike Heroes
Anyway.
3 would be sick. Because this isn't roguelike, right?
Yeah. No, it's not a roguelike. It's just like Heroes 3 in that respect, like the way you do battles and you set them up with the AIs.
Whoa. Did he just do
Yeah.
an attack of opportunity?
Yeah, there's attacks of opportunity now. Yeah.
Whoa, that's...
So they added
that's-
attacks of opportunity, which is cool. But let's do some spell casting. So I actually don't have enough mana to do anything that interesting. Like pacify, I could do. It's actually I got overwhelmed with the spells when I first saw them because there's so many.
Yeah.
But they do this quick select thing where they just put the most powerful spells at the top of this list.
Oh, that's cool.
And it pretty much always makes sense to do the powerful spells, and you just learn from the image what they do, you know? Like, I just know now that this one just reduces something's damage by half, and this one protects my troops, you know? This one is haste, basically. And so there's a lot more management. Like, managing when you do the spells is much more important because it's less about, like, casting cool spells and more about, like, okay, what do I need? I need this guy to be weaker. Do I have enough essence right now to make him weaker? Right?
They were like, hey, let's take Heroes 3 and make it more strategic.
Yeah, exactly. And they always, if you look, it's like things happen. What's the duration? One troop turn. So that means like when that troop reinitiates, or maybe the one after that, it loses the effect. And then some of them's like this round, and some of them's like 2 rounds,
You
right?
should
So
haste your troubadours so they can buff all your units faster.
no, they buff all the units at infinite range.
What does haste do? Doesn't it increase their initiative?
Oh, it does, but like if you look at the initiative order, oh, I guess there's that one guy coming up. Him. Maybe I'll just weaken him. Maybe I'll weaken this guy, make him do 50% damage when he attacks. Because and then the troubadours will. I don't think he's even gonna get to my guys, to be honest, but we'll see. What I'm gonna do? So this guy, like a lot of them have like an extra ability too. So if I click X, I could also do this, right? And I give friendly units within 1 hex this
Oh,
until the end of the turn
okay.
or something. You know, so I can do stuff like that. But anyway, I think I'm just gonna attack for now.
Yeah, attack, do it.
But they've done a really good job of balancing like how much you have to think about this stuff.
I
they've
really
also
like how there's a
done-
health bar underneath all of the enemies.
Yeah,
Or
that's really nice
underneath
to
all
know
the
like the next enemy that's gonna
units.
die. They've also done what was the other thing? The ranged units have a range now. So some ranged units are less ranged than others, and that's kind of good. I'm gonna
Wait.
spam this thing.
What? Isn't there a range in Heroes 3 as well?
No. Any unit can just shoot anyone, right? Isn't there?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
maybe
do
there is a
half
range.
Damage. They do half or less damage if they're out of range.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
Oh yeah, these. No, I didn't. No, I knew that, but like I mean, these guys have a max range. They have like a. This is their like
Oh, I
long
see, I
range.
see, I see, I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that's out of range. This is long range, and
Mm-hmm.
this is deadly range.
Okay, I see. I see. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
So they're dead. They're in deadly range. So I'm gonna get big of these things because they're freaking horrible.
Where's your ballista? Oh, yeah,
It's behind those
holy
guys.
shit,
Oh,
that
I
thing goes so fast.
freaking I killed. I didn't think he would be able to move that far. Fuck.
Holy shit.
Um.
Wait, can you see how
Uh.
far an enemy movement, an enemy unit can move?
I don't know.
Yo,
Can
that
you?
thing.
Yeah, you can if you.
That
Yeah.
thing
Okay, I should have just checked.
fucked your ballista
Um,
up, man.
So I can kill some initiative. I can -10 initiative to something. So I wonder if there's any unit that I really don't want to
That
have it
wraith
attack.
was scary as hell.
This guy, I really don't want him to attack soon. Or that guy. They're all kind of strong. I think I'll get that guy and move him to the back of the queue. And then the troubadour here. This one I kind of want to actually be attacking. I can't believe he killed my ballista like that.
Yeah,
So
he fucked
pissed.
it up.
So I'll move him here and I'll sing my song. Here we are. And then I'll move this guy in here. I will. I think I kind of want to bait him to attack this guy. Anyway, I don't care about the 11 troubadours. They can die. So if the 6 wraith like attacks them, that would be good. Okay, I can one-shot him with the shitty guys.
Nice. You did it.
I think I want to be attacking him. I
James.
want to shoot the wraiths. The wraith is after all my archers, so I'll.
I will say one thing though. It's really hard to tell what the fuck is going on in this game.
No, but like, I find it's not once you get used to it. You know, I'm just used to it now.
Yeah.
It didn't take long to get used to it because I was introduced to everything.
Right. That makes sense, but I find that I find the color palette is really muted and everything kind of
Oh,
blends in together, and it's really hard.
You
to,
mean like the contrast?
Yeah, the contrast, not just the contrast, but like the terrain is like detailed. Yeah, I guess it is contrast, but everything, it just seems so jumbled together, and like all the effects are like on top of each other, and it's just like really hard to tell what the fuck is doing what, or what the fuck can do
Okay.
what.
Interesting. So you would try to differentiate the things from the background more, basically.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
Because like
Makes sense.
when you mouse over a unit, they do get an outline, but even then, I find them like hard to differentiate.
Yeah.
It looks like you're gonna win.
Yeah, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win for sure. I knew I would because this one I had such a better army. These guys are cool, and I'm sad you didn't get to see them. These the guy I'm selecting right now.
Right. What are they?
They're like the worst troop. They're the militias, and what they do is they shoot crossbows not very far, and then take a turn to reload, right?
Okay.
So you shoot with them, and then generally you go attack in melee, right? And you
Yeah.
try to shoot and then attack in melee and kill the thing so that you can shoot again next turn.
What a garbage.
And it works. They're a really good troop if you can use them properly, but they're the like weakest, you know.
Yeah.
But they're fun to use. And I think what I want to do
Fucking
is I want to try to kill these guys.
Yeah. Kill them.
I think I can afford the attack of opportunity on this. I think I'm okay with that. Oh, he hit me twice. Why'd he do that?
'Cause
And
you
then I'll
wanted to.
take a shot. Also, if you move with your range unit, they do 50% damage. So there's a lot of like simple to understand rules
move
to
and
how
shoot?
things work. That makes it really strategic.
Oh, nice. Wait,
know.
you can move and shoot?
You can move and shoot, but you have 50% damage if
That's
you do that.
that's pretty sick. Because you can't do
Yeah.
that in Heroes.
Yeah, I think they did that so you can back up and take attacks of opportunity if you want to.
They
Okay, cool.
They really implemented like D&D
Yeah,
like battle
they
system.
took they clearly took some D&D inspiration, right?
Mhm.
Attacks of opportunity and stuff, and they took Hearthstone. I think this was, I don't know if it was Hearthstone where they got the inspiration, but I'm realizing that there's a bunch of games that are quite popular that their mechanic is like resource accumulation over time, right? Like
Mhm.
Magic the Gathering is like that,
Mhm.
right? It's like there's a limited amount of extra resource you can have every turn,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
but it ramps, and that's a fun kind of mechanic. So they took that mechanic, put that to the mana of the heroes. They
Mhm.
took D&D inspiration for some of the combat in the squad combat,
Mhm.
but they kept it mostly Heroes 3.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I, I think it's a really good mix.
So let me ask you this: if you were to roguelikeify this game, how would you do it?
That's a good question. I think I would focus on the rewards you get for leveling up your hero,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I think like instead of it being like you get experience per combat, you just level up your hero per combat or something like that. Or maybe it slows down as your hero gets better and better. Focus on that like idea that you have those three rewards,
Yeah.
and then somehow streamline like take out the part where you have to build the buildings,
Mhm.
right? Um, and then just along the path that you rogue, like maybe like there's a path involved where you're going from battle to battle. Along the path, you can choose often to do another battle, which will level up your hero if you win it and get you more hero abilities, or go to a building that's available at that point in the path, like a barracks or a stable, and that will give you the ability to purchase units from those places, and maybe have gold that you get along the way.
Mhm.
So you've got to choose between like, do I get a resource? Do I buy more troops? Do I do a battle? But make the path like FTL or Slay the Spire, where it's not that you get the same choice every step. It's like you've got to figure out your path through it
Oh, so you would
and
make
decide
like
what you want to do.
oh, that's what you meant by path. So,
Yeah.
wait, each node in the path is
Yeah.
so you'd make like a noded path. Interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. And maybe a noted path and focus on the squad battles. But then again, like I would probably want to brainstorm how to get the base building into it too,
mhm.
because this is a big part of how Heroes 3 feels.
Mhm.
Is that kind of thing. So like somehow simplify that into a roguelike way so that you can properly do it within like an hour to 2 hours, like a run.
Yeah. So I think I think the way I would roguelikeify this is like completely different from you. So
Okay.
basically, what I would do is I would entirely get rid of the running back and forth between your base to get units. Um,
Hmm.
you can just warp units back and forth to your character, and
Yeah.
I would make it so that basically the map is almost like you have like a hero's map that you start in the middle of, and
Hmm.
you have like rings kind of that each ring is like those mazes that are like rings and you have like the passageways in between them, and then
Yeah.
to get out of like each growing tier of your map would be like a boss combat, right? That you would have to find
Oh,
somewhere,
okay, sure, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So instead of having like a node thing, you have like a kind of an artificially blocked open map, and
So you'd like take this map type, you keep the map type style and
yeah.
everything.
Cause
Yeah,
I
okay, I get
think
what you're saying.
yeah,
That
I
makes
think
sense.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they do it in Heroes 5. They block the teleporters with like a
Yeah,
storm
yeah.
unit,
They
right?
do this here as well. They
Yeah,
do
yeah.
this
I would
the
I would
exact
keep
same
that
thing.
because that's like the
That's
essence of
blocking, right?
Heroes. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what I would do after that is I would the I think so you, in terms of like upgrades and power ups, you can go about it two ways. There are two aspects. There's the hero and there's the units, right? Um,
No.
I'm I'm wondering if what you would do is Goji, you can basically, as you're exploring through the map and stuff, you can find like aspects to units and upgrade your units in particular ways, like the units that you can buy. Um, so like what I would do is the art style of the game, I would make it like a kind of like not gray, but like a very almost agnostic kind of like uh
Mm-hmm.
game where you start and you're basic starting unit is like a gray blob, and then
Yeah.
what you do is you find these different upgrade aspects in the map, and then you can like add those kind of aspects to the units you can buy, and it changes the units in a way so that you could have different units. So you would have like regular gray blob, and then you'd have ranged gray blob, and then you'd have larger gray blob, and then you'd have like mounted gray blob or whatever it is, and each of those have a different. They can use the different aspects, and you can have synergies between aspects. Like if these two units are next to each other, they do bonus damage, kind of thing. So that like you can customize the kind of army you want to create based
I
on
think I
like
see what you're saying.
RNG rewards, because it's a roguelike, right?
Like elemental style things. Yeah.
Exactly. Like
I get what you're saying, because I think it would be sad to do a roguelike and lose the positioning aspects of the game, right? Because there's positioning aspects of your hero on this map, you know, in Heroes 3.
yeah.
And it would be sad to lose that by just making a node graph.
Yes.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, cool. But yeah, I think we should revisit this game, and I think we should do a stream where we talk about it again. But this, not doing the campaign like this, but doing just a generic battle. And starting from the beginning, and maybe even talking together about how we're strategizing, you know? Like play the game together
Yeah.
and see what we notice.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Should we do you want to keep discussing this, or should we move on to maybe looking at our stuff?
I'd like to see what you did.
Yeah, sure.
I think you've pretty much seen everything I've worked on for the past week or so. You didn't
Yeah, I
tell me
don't
if
think
you
I
like
saved
the
it.
banners though. Which is making me think you
I
don't
have.
like them.
Let me look. No, that's not true. One sec. How do I get away? How do I quit this Steam stuff?
Yo,
Okay.
there's two viewers. Is someone viewing? If you're there, don't be afraid to say hi. Enjoy
I
my
don't know.
nice
Someone was viewing.
ASMR voice. I don't know. I just noticed a second viewer. Maybe it's you.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it me? I mean, I am viewing, so I guess it is me.
Yeah, it's probably you then. Oh no, there are 3 viewers now, so someone is here.
Oh, okay, someone's here. That's cool. Okay, so anyway, so I just stopped sharing my screen. Maybe you can share your screen and just like show me like what you've been up to. I think that'd be cool. I tried to improve my camera angle. I don't know if I did though.
Wait, did you see the banners at all?
Let me look. I'm watching on the
Into
Twitch
regression.
stream. I never know whether I should watch the Twitch stream or not.
Oh, I'm sharing my Discord. You can have it on, so you can see chat and stuff.
Yeah.
If there are any chatters. But oh, one second.
Okay, I'm looking.
I have to let my other cat in.
Oh, do you have music going?
I have returned. Okay. So yeah, these are the banners that I've made for Twitch, so that people can find our social medias, Reddit and YouTube, and wait, what the heck? Why is copy of Reddit here? You get to go in the garbage. Rules and Discord. Just
Yeah, I think these are really nice. I saw them on the thing.
okay, good. I just made the Twitter one just now.
Yeah, I think they're good for now.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think there's something about the logo. Like, I really like the logo, but I think there's something a bit like flat about it. I think eventually we'll
Yeah.
probably do an update.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah, but not to say that you haven't done a good job, because you have.
No,
Yeah.
I find it's a bit flat too. I think it needs some love, I guess. I'm not sure how much I
Yeah.
love the logo on the banners though. I might get rid of that. I'm really not a fan of the font, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, I don't think I like the font that much either.
No.
I like the whole like concept though with the logos popping out of his head.
Yeah. Okay.
That's cool. But it looks like the render of the logo has like an extra white border around it. And I think that probably should go because it looks like it just looks a bit low res even because of the way that the corners are coming out
Oh, okay. Yeah.
with the you know what I mean?
Okay, I'll get
Yeah.
rid of that. I agree.
I think it'll probably look better. And you've got some of that going on like around the Discord logo as well and the YouTube logo and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's just something going on with the what you call it, the transparency there.
That's actually an intentional outline I made.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get rid of that because I agree. It's
Yeah.
kind of ugly.
I think in high res it probably looks good, but I think because you're exporting it for web and that's where it's
I think
losing
you're
it,
right.
yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
What program is this?
Krita, piece of garbage
wow.
Photoshop clone.
Oh, it's like free or something?
Yes. Okay, I got rid of the outline. Yeah, that looks. Let me just try the Discord one. It is free. It's more for like drawing though, and less for like
Right.
design stuff. But
Is it open source?
no, unfortunately not.
So it's just some software someone made?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, let's see.
Oh.
That. Wait, why didn't it work? Oh wait, I have to click apply. Duh, I have to click apply. Duh. Duh.
Yeah,
Okay.
did you
Yeah, that
did
does
you
look
click
better.
apply?
No. No.
Did you?
Did
So
not.
what was that you were saying about my freaking spit guard thingy here? What's wrong with this one?
Did I say anything was wrong with it? I didn't say
Yeah,
anything.
you freaking criticized it over text. It was super mean.
I'm gonna have to see the logs there. I don't buy that. I don't know about that.
You were even my mic and everything. You were like, your mic's got to be better, and I was like, does it though?
Wait, did I say that? I don't think I said that.
I don't.
James.
I can't even see your mic on stream, so I don't even know what kind of mic you have.
I think you're making this up right now, to be honest with you.
Okay. I'm not. You totally said this. Why did you set up this scene to cover my face with your face? That's okay. Very nice. That's better.
Because no one wants to see that shit. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait, I have to look at our chat logs.
Alright, fork. Good on that front. That's good. Any information on here I don't want streamed? Probably not. I think that's all fine. Cool. Let's have a look. Can't even remember actually where I was with the thing. I hope that I didn't break the project and leave it in some kind of like limbo. I don't think I did though.
Gee, I don't know. It's hard to find because there's so much of me talking and so few answers.
Is that a criticism, man?
No. No. Wait, where the hell?
Yeah, that's probably true.
Only in the end there. You were answering at the start of it. Oh, here it is.
I've just been really busy in the
Pop
last few
filter,
days.
and what's your
haven't been able
mic
to-
setup in general? And you said, I just have a shitty arm and a blue Yeti. And then I said, lol, okay, because I really did think it was shit and I wanted you to confirm it. You're right, I did shit on your setup. But
See, you shit all over it.
You confirmed it. That's all. I just wanted to hear you say it so I could keep shitting on it.
I don't think I confirmed it. I think that's you. I think you're lying. I think you're trying to gaslight.
Wait a minute.
Here we are. You see my screen, Matt?
Are you going through our logs? Oh, okay. I'm putting
No, I'm getting down to business.
I'm putting
I'm
it-
doing
this
real
is-
stuff.
I'm putting the
I'm
logs
tired of
in the
this. I'm tired of
Discord.
being lied to.
Look who's gaslighting who now. You son of a bitch.
I wonder if there's a way for me to give gizmos a freaking. Oh, there's a spider on my screen.
Spider.
If there's a way for. There probably is.
Wait,
So,
like a real spider?
yeah, it's on my screen.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry. I'm not gonna try and point the camera at it. It's gonna be too hard.
That's scary.
Do you see my screen?
I
Do you see what's on there?
I do.
So, I'm working on the game. There isn't gameplay yet, sadly, but I'll kind of show you what happens when I click play. I'm not even totally sure what's gonna happen, so we'll find out. Let's have a look. I think I changed a parameter, so it's not gonna be that spectacular. Okay, yeah. So there's some bugs right now that are like recent bugs, but I'll explain what they are. They're not gonna get in the way of what I wanted to talk about. So, what am I looking for? It's in the game runner here. When I create the state, the path length, I want it to be like, say, 10. Let's go with 20. Why not? Do whatever the hell we want. Like that here. Go back to there. And then I'll press play. I'm sad that one of the bugs is happening because it's not going to be as colorful, because it was more colorful before, more clear what was going on. So this created a path, right? And you see these like things in a row in the path. And okay, how do I move around? Maybe like this. Yeah, here we are. I have kind of a funny way to move around. One sec. I wanna make sure I can move around properly, so I think I'm just gonna do this with the touchpad. Yeah, there we are. Cool. So what you're looking at right now is the state of like a bunch of the components. Those little dots in the middle here, these dots, I'm using those to visualize the component. These are gizmos and they don't show up in the game. You kind of see them there. And they kind of piggyback on Unity's gizmo system.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm using that because sometimes it's nice to know that like in these like path segments, for example, this is a vertical layout group and it's gonna like arrange things for you, basically. So those like dots are there to kind of indicate where things are, but I'll get rid of the gizmos for now and show you what's going on. Sadly, you can't see the data. That's how the colors, because there's like a strange bug where the color setter isn't setting the colors for some reason, and it's not coming up here, which is sad as well. But in the data that runs the game, each of these fruits are different colors and each of these wanderers have different upgrades. Okay?
Okay.
And as you kind of see the path moving, it's really not obvious because of the freaking color problem. Maybe we'll try to live debug it. But each of these like are overlapping fruit hexes, and they have different colors and they indicate like the upcoming paths that are going to be generated as part of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe to make it easier to see, what I'll do instead is I'll just change the props real quick and just scale them down a bit, because the problem is probably just that like if they're all white, if I do this, it'll probably work here. And I think the next stream we do, once I've had a bit of time to move through this, will be much more interactive and visual. But if I replay that, here we are. So now you can kind of see them a little bit better. What we have is a scaling kind of like randomized set of paths where there will be more wanderers and more or less fruit as you go forward in the game, right? And then it gets to like ridiculous amounts, like this here. Okay, and the idea is that when the state machine runs, like when the game runs, I should stop using programming terms. When the game runs, whatever path is like leftmost on this will generate a bunch of steps, and those steps will randomly use the 2 fruit here and then put the wanderer over here to start playing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're
That's
saying.
the idea.
Now. Okay.
And so I already set this up because I wanted to do some tests. So I've been putting a lot of buttons on the what I call these props, okay? And the way the world is set up right now is that the path prop is the main prop that's like kind of dealing with all of this information, right? Like all of these are like each of these end pieces. but the end pieces themselves are separate props as well. So there's a hierarchy of them here. And I put in some sort of thing, didn't I? Where did I put it? I'm trying to think. What did I do to make this work? I had a test that I wanted to show you, and I've just completely forgotten. Update instance current objects here. Update instance positions. That's sad. I had like an animation. Was it on the game? There we are. I was on the game. Here we are. So we're working right now on like structure of games, and we've inherited like the structure from the last game, which is like Jank Fatafel, right? And the way that our game is structured right now is that we have like really clear distinctions between the game data, which is like the information that you can save and load the game from, and basically runs the game and changes as the game runs, I should say. We've got the state machine, and the state machine is responsible for how the game runs. So you can see the state machine as like the game rules, right? So you've got like the game data, which is the numbers of the game, the quantities of things, the game rules, which is the state machine, and then you've got the game visualization, okay? And so this class here, the visual environment, controls how the game is visualized. And we can switch this out for something that you create, or you can maybe change art that's passed to this and just leave it the way it is, right? We're going to have to work together, I think, to determine like the best way to make that happen.
Gotcha.
But because this is the visual environment, it knows like when you're building stuff like this, you have to think about responsibilities, like what's responsible for what, right? And you also have to think about what knows about what. Since the visual environment is the visual environment specific to Jankaido, it understands things that like Jankaido requires as a game. The path itself is just like this accordion thing. An accordion is just the generic way to like lay things out, okay? But the visual environment is like a specific visualizer for Jankido, so it knows and understands the rules, how to visualize the specific requirements of the Jankido game. I don't know if that makes sense, like what I'm talking about here. But the reason, so the all of this to say, the reason I put this debugger here is because I'm debugging the Jankido game, like what I'm about to show you.
Okay.
So what I've done is like part of the game is going to be like steps spawning at the front of this, and then steps getting destroyed. All I've done is put the steps spawning at this front, but if I press this button, it throws in the steps, right? And so we can start to see how like the game is going to animate and how like we're going to manage like having this data in the game. Okay? So what you can imagine happening is that do this, let's do that, restart the game, is that you get to this part in the game, it shows you this, it knows that you need to now play this round, right? Or run, or whatever you want to call it. Oh, the run is the whole thing. Like this would be like one battle or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's going to know that this battle contains 5 steps. I haven't actually visualized that yet, but I want to have a visual that tells you how many steps are in that battle as well. So that you know this is like a 7-step battle. And then what's going to happen automatically, obviously, is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these fruits are going to be related to the colors of the fruits up here, which are all white because of the bug I'm having, right? But they would be like red and blue. And then this guy, who would somehow indicate his upgrades and stuff, his synergies, would then fly over here, right? And we can even emulate that part happening now. So why don't I do that? So this guy, go in a bit. I think I should be able to click him. Yeah, so I click this guy. He's this wanderer here. And he's a token, okay? Because we have zones and tokens in my system. And all I need to do... Oops, sorry. That's I have a hotkey to change my layout.
I hope you don't have a hotkey to show your dick pics. We're
I
live
do,
right
but
now.
I'm not gonna.
Okay,
I'm not gonna
buddy,
click that one.
Don't hit it. Be careful.
Yeah, I have a specific hotkey in Unity that shows my dick pics in Unity,
If you have a dick pic hotkey,
which I keep in Unity.
should you make the hotkey, like the key itself, big so that you're aware of it and don't accidentally press it, or should you make it super small so that you don't accidentally like flub it?
Yeah, I prefer it to be like relative to the size of my dick, so I always make it the small button.
I make mine the space bar.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. So we have this wanderer, right? And he's a token, and he's the actual wanderer that's gonna be in this part. So all I would do is go like this here, and if this works, I haven't actually tested this, but we have the player multi-zone, which is just the at the moment it's just the thing that's gonna hold the players that are about to go into the path, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I can do is I can just take that token and test in editor like this functionality without having to write code, which is like why it's taking a bit longer, because I'm trying to make it like easy for us to debug in editor what's going on. So zones are things that can accept tokens. That's just what zones do. So what I can do is I can grab this wanderer, put him there, and then I can invoke the accept, and then he'll zoom over there, right?
Yes.
And so we can imagine the game playing, and the reason like maybe this doesn't seem that exciting, we've just like interpolated something to somewhere, right? But the reason this is useful is just because like we can kind of like all the functions that I'm calling with those buttons are the actual functions, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it just means like we debug a bit and we go like, okay, like I think it's supposed to work like this. Okay, so I pick this one with this guy, and then I go like, okay, cool. In my player zone, I need like my player zone to accept the player that's moving there. So I can go to here. I can look at the players that are standing there, and like if he was going to accept that, I do this. Okay, great. So it moves to the path, right? And so all these functions already exist, and the functionality exists to like animate the game
Mm-hmm.
and allow you to kind of like play with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just not hooked up yet, right?
Like
to
hooked
to
up
the
to the-
logic of the game.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
And these
Yeah.
are all like all of these are different like what like injectables that we were talking about last time.
They're different. We were talking about
Injectables.
injection.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about dependency injection.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't think I'm gonna go through how that's working now, but if you look here, I'll show you quick. The game is here.
Mm-hmm.
The game starts off there. It has a prefab service, and that prefab service contains all the prefabs that are used in the game.
Okay.
So if you switch this out, right, like I'll show you.
Is this all via
If I
Odin,
s-
by the way, or you do like all these services that like this UI?
The service system isn't, but this UI is. Yeah,
Okay,
this is
okay.
Odin. Odin let me do this for free. Like I didn't have to even write anything. I just publicly exposed this, and it lets me do it. Like the fact that I can like add to this dictionary like this is Odin.
Oh,
That's why it's useful.
is that so? Odin will like it'll write to a library that you have in a script.
So what Odin does is Odin is mostly serialization, and what that
Oh, okay.
means
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
saving to disk.
Yes.
You know?
Okay. Gotcha. That's right. I remember
But,
you telling me.
yeah.
That. Yeah.
And like the way that the Unity editor works, the way that you're able to do this is by serializing. Like you need like it's hard to explain without going into it more in depth, but
Mhm.
serialization is the first step to these inspectors.
Yep.
And so what Odin does is it serializes data that's more complex than what Unity naturally serializes.
Mm-hmm.
So dictionaries, Unity isn't good at serializing, for example. Odin can. It does it, and then because it can do that, it's able to also provide all the inspector tooling.
I feel like
You know,
Odin is going to be. So you remember the setup we had for Jenk Tacto or Rouge Tacto, right? With the serialization for all the different like effects and stuff for the pieces.
yeah.
I feel like Odin might make that like 10 times more better.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I'm going to replace, because we have a serialization system within our framework
Mhm.
that's very manual. You have to do a lot of work
Yeah.
to set up each thing that you want to serialize. What I'm going to try to do is serialize it with Odin directly,
Yeah.
and
That
then
makes sense.
delete all the serialization code and just depend on it.
Just use Odin.
Yeah. Because for us, right, like another thing I want to show you, another piece of work that's been done, is that when I press play here, we have state, and I purposely made state be what you call it, a scriptable object. So this here is the state of the game, and if I double click it, it takes me to this here, which is still a bit messy because there's a lot going on, but this is the state of the game right now.
Yeah.
You know.
So when you say
yeah.
just so I can like make sure I'm continuing to understand as we're going through this, because things are getting more complex as you're creating these things. Like when you say state, the state is just like where everything is at the current moment.
The state is, so this is where the split's really important, right? The state is the data that's required for the game to be played, regardless of its visualization.
Right.
So,
okay.
So the state won't contain stuff like, it won't contain things like this path segment is at these coordinates. So the state doesn't know the transform of this, for example.
Oh, okay. I see.
It doesn't know that. It doesn't know that it's got a line on it or a color state shape. What the state knows is that there is a path. The first segment has, let me show you. The first segment has one dude with certain upgrades and 2 fruits, let's say, you know, or 1 fruit. Why are there? Oh, they're hidden by the gizmos. Let me just get rid of those. There are. So the state knows there's a path. The first path segment has 2 fruits and 1 wanderer.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the visual environment is responsible for taking that information and visualizing it. So you could write a visual environment that, instead of being like these shapes, is 3-dimensional, for example, that looks completely different, but still runs based on the same game rules.
Yeah.
So when you have a new visual environment, the state doesn't change and the rules don't change, but the visuals do.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's really the difference.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And-
the split is like, the split is how we're getting that information to our visuals.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason we split it is because it allows me to make a prototype game with shit visuals, and then allows you to come in and
Spruce
make
things up a bit.
a good visuals. But I need to be able to make the game with the shit visuals, because I need to be able to make the rules of the game, and I can't do that easily without seeing it, right?
Yeah.
So this version of the game is my tool. It's like my personal visualization tool to actually build the game.
Yeah.
The core of the game, I guess, the skeleton, and then you can come in and you can either like change my visual environment to the good one, or you can build another one in parallel. Yeah, I think it's a good way of working. You can also build the props individually without needing to think about the game itself. In the sense that the props should have generic things they do. Like, these are not wanderers, these props. These are just simple tokens, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they just know how to be accepted by zones, basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you.
They don't
yeah,
know
like-
anything else.
Yeah. Right.
They're also supposed to know how to have their color set, and I think they do. I think there's just a bug somewhere, because I
Yeah.
think if I do this, yeah, see, it set the colors.
Son of a bitch.
So it does work. It's just there's some small thing going wrong somewhere. But yeah, so like if we just take a quick look back at that state. So here's the state machine and here's the run state. If we look at the first path, it has 2 fruit, and one's a 1 bean. it's pink, and the other one's a Jubal, which is this. And then if you go to the last path here, it's got a path length of 19, and it has like these fruits here.
A jubal?
So
A wumbean and a jubal?
yeah, I just made stuff up.
Oh, okay.
And the
What tastes better, a wumbean or a jubal?
I don't know. You have to ask the Wanderers.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go with jubal. Jubal just sounds better than wumbean.
Going here.
Wumbean sounds like something my mom would make, and I would be like, "Oh, you made wumbeans tonight, really?"
I think your mom makes pretty good beans.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now you're making me sound like an asshole to my mom. Thanks, you fucking dick. Jesus.
Here you go,
I
look.
love you, mom.
Here we go. So look, so all the data, so part of the work I did, which took like maybe a session of sitting down,
Yeah.
was the random generation of the data, right?
Goomba range.
Yeah. Goomba Ranch. I didn't use ChatGPT or anything. I made these all up myself. I don't know if you can tell.
I don't know which makes me feel better.
Yeah. And so like anyway, so here look, in the upcoming path, this is the last upcoming path, is this one.
Yeah.
You have all the Wanderers. The Wanderers have their upgrades. This one has 2 upgrades. It synergizes with Goombarange and Octumuka. And you know, they have 0 score, so that you need to know the score of Wanderers to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
They have fruits in their basket, but none of them have them, right? And so you can always come here and manually query the data of the game visually in the inspector. And that was sort of intentional, because I really wanted to make sure that I'm doing a lot of work kind of in visualizing what's happening for us as well, because the better these tools are, the more efficient we're going to be, and the less time we're going to spend like fucking around with things that are going wrong, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah,
I
definitely
guess it
agree.
terminates in the first frame. I wanted to show you that like I wanted to show you that this is also useful to understanding how the state machine runs, and I think there's a way I can do it. One sec. So in the game container, we have the game runner. The game runner is going to run the state machine here. Oh, what's my controls now? They're different now. Not go to definition. Oh yeah, go to definition. That's what I want to do. Here in the run state machine, the problem is like everything just runs synchronously right now. But for example, that goes straight to terminate. That goes straight to terminate. Pre-run goes to here, initial load. Let's make this go to what's it going to be? Update next wanderer. Update. No, well, I don't want to rename it. Sorry, I'm doing this all wrong. I'm like trying out a new way of using my editor, and I'm not very good at it yet. Here we are. So this can go here. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna say unitask dot next. Oh, oops. Await unitask dot next frame. I'm basically like artificially delaying the frame, so that we can press pause in the editor and we can like pause it to go frame by frame and see what's going on. Okay, here. So this is my state machine, and the way that this works is that each of these functions is just independent, and you return a thing that tells it which state to go to next. So update next wanderer is going to go to run update next wanderer, for example. Okay.
Okay.
And then I need to put this in here. I'm putting these await next frame things in so that I can pause the game and show you, if I'm right about this, that is, that we can see the state here. So you see how the state's like load next path right now?
Yeah.
If I go forward a frame, the reason that is in the code is because run load next path is the state that I run this, that I started off at. So in the game runner, I say, make me a run state, right? Reset it to default. And then that's where I do all the random generation.
Okay.
And then inside reset to default, I set the state to this, to load next path. Okay? And this is just to get everything started.
Okay.
So when I'm here, you can see that the machine state starts in load next path because I've paused it on the first frame of the game. If-
Okay. Where did you do that?
Because when did I do what?
Where did you pause it at the?
Oh, in the Unity
Oh,
editor.
okay,
Like this is
okay,
an
I see,
editor
I see,
thing.
I see.
Yeah, like if you click pause before you click play, it'll pause on the first frame of the game.
Oh, I did not know you could do that. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And so if I click step, it'll go one frame forward.
Yes. Okay.
So what'll happen is if I click step, this goes to update next wanderer. And then if I click step again, it's going to go to terminate. Yeah, okay, it goes to terminate after 2 steps, apparently. Trying to figure out in my head why that is, but maybe it's because there's some other function that's running
Did you
that
put,
takes a frame.
you put await next frame after? Yeah. Okay, I see.
I'm not too sure why it goes there and then does it twice, but it doesn't really matter. Like,
So it
whatever,
automatically,
like,
if you remove those, it'll just run through those. Like,
yeah, it's because what these do is they like this is why I'm using Unitask and this is why I'm doing everything asynchronously, because it lets us do stuff like this really easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually kind of hard to get that to work if you're not running things async. But what it will do, because the way that these state machines work is that most of the code is automatically generated, okay? And so if we just look at like the auto-generated side, which sadly isn't syntax highlighting, I don't know why. What it does is it just says start a while true loop, right? Start this loop that's just going to run forever. Look at the state and get the state, the current state. And like that's this. You see machine state here is set to one of these values.
Okay.
That's what this line of code is doing, is saying given a state, give me the current machine state, which is one of these. And then it just says if that state is load initial, then do the load initial function, right?
Yes.
And then whatever state it returns, set the state to that.
Okay.
And then it moves to the next thing. And it says, and then that's it. And then that's over. That's it. It's over. And then it just repeats that over and over again. So it's just gonna look at what this value is, and then jump to the part of this statement that is set to that value. And on the other side, there's a corresponding function called run, and then the name of that state.
And then where's the state machine state being set? Okay, it's running that run load. It's running that.
It's given to it. Look, it's given to it in the run function.
Okay.
So that state is provided when you provide the run function, and the game runner does that. So the game runner creates a state, and then it says run, right? Like state machine equals run state machine.
Yeah, and then state machine dot run. That's.
And then state machine dot run.
What is that?
Which
method?
passes the state. This
where,
one?
Yeah, the run method. Where is that? What does that look like?
It's the one I was just pointing at. So it's this method here.
And then okay, it's. Wait, go through that one more time.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry.
So this is the beginning of the game. No, this is fine. This is I expect these things to be a bit confusing, because you haven't been staring at them for hours like I have, you know.
That's fair.
So this is the first function that gets called in the game. Like this function runs the entire game.
Yep.
And then what we do is I create a state. The reason that this seems like a bit complicated is because I'm giving us the ability to like set the state manually if we want to debug. But if we don't set the state manually, we randomly generate the state here. So this is a random generation function that I wrote that basically randomly generates values for the
Mhm.
state.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we create the state. That's what this whole block does. And then we create a state machine. So the state machine is the rules of the game, and the state machine operates over a state. Right?
Yeah.
I might even rename this to rules because I think that's a really clear way to understand it in a human terms. That you have the run state and you have the run rules. And the run rules operate on the run state, right?
What does that mean to operate on the state?
It means that what the run rules do is they change the state. They
Okay.
what we normally say mutate in computer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they mutate the state, which means that the state goes from being certain values and then goes to being other values,
Gotcha.
right? So they change. So the rules of the game determine how the state can change. If that makes sense.
Yep.
If you used different rules, you could have the same state, but it would change differently. That's like another way of saying the same thing.
Yes. Okay. I see what you
Yeah.
mean. Yeah.
So if your game, like if your idea for this game operates over this exact same state, but it just works differently, we could just make a different state machine without making a different state.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Or make a different rules. I think calling it rules actually makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the run rules. And so you create this like run rules object, and then you run it. You click run on it. You run it and you just wait for it to finish running, basically. And the way that it runs is it's just this function that I was showing you before that I won't highlight, where it just looks at the state and says what is your machine state, which is any of these values here. Okay.
Yeah. So these, like, I guess I'm just not understanding what, like, the wanderer select path or wanderer select segment, how is that a state?
It's a it's not maybe I think again the naming's a bit off because I'm using all the computer sciencey terms I already understand. But it's not a state, it's like a mode almost. It's like if you go into wanderer select mode, it means that you're expecting the game to react in a way where like it gives you an option of a wanderer to select, right?
So like selecting a piece or selecting a segment or whatever it is is a state.
Exactly. And so if you move to that state,
yeah, totally.
yeah, exactly. And so like the reason that this is designed this way is because in these functions, right, you could move to different states depending on different things. So if you're in the next path state, load next path state, you could say, if my wanderer is still the last, move back to wanderer move state. But if my wanderer is further on in the path than another wanderer, move to update to next wanderer state.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you can start to control the rules of the game by writing small subsystems.
Which are these?
And then choosing when you move between them.
And that's what these are, right?
Yeah, that's what each of these functions is a reflection of these modes, right? So each of these modes here has a corresponding function called run and then the name of the mode.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And making
and
the
so
modes async allows you to do what exactly? Just like
making the mode async lets me do things like this. Like if this wasn't async, I couldn't just pause for a frame.
So
You just can't do it.
So you'd be like, wait until this animation is done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can force that mode to be like, okay, like provide an option to the player. Watch what they click.
Mm-hmm.
What they click comes back. Animate the player to like a certain position, then finish the mode and move on to the next mode, which is like maybe the same thing again.
Gotcha.
You know.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and so it's like a very modular system where what you're defining is like specific small systems, not systems, but specific small interactions in the game, and then you choose when to go from one to the other.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can jump from any one to any one of them, basically.
You can jump from any one to any one of them, and they're always going to use the state to determine what they should do, basically. So,
so depending on how
yeah.
complex the game is, wouldn't that switch statement just be like huge?
It would, but what I do, and there's not an example here, is you can make these things hierarchical. So right now we have a single state machine for the whole game, but like you'd have the game state machine, and then you'd have a smaller state machine, which was like battle state machine, and then even within that you could have like spells menu state machine, and just have a small state machine that manages this spells menu.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And so that's how everything's organized, and right now it's just like slowly piecing it together with the other systems, where like at the moment all we have in the game, we don't have a single implementation of the systems. We just have the initial thing, which is the load. Like we have one function that's just load state, and that takes like the visualization. It takes the state machine from you haven't started running, and you're given like a completely new state that's full of information. Load the visual for this, right? And the equivalent of what's happening there for like the Heroes 3 game we were just looking at is getting all the information about the layout of the map, right? Because you have to go from blank screen to where are all the hexes, what is the environment of each of those hexes, where are all the monsters, how many of the monsters are there, right? You have to do that load initially, and then once the load is running, you run the rules. And when you run the rules, that's when the state starts to change based on like the player's interaction with the various interactions you expose to them. Gotcha. Basically. Right? Like one of the major motivators for this is that if you save the state, right, and then you load it back, you just rerun. You just rerun the machine with that loaded state, and it will reload all the initial data so that everything's in the right place, and then the state machine will already be at. So here's the run state. This value here will already be at the place that the player was in the game. Yeah, so if the right, so that'll be set to here, and then when you start running, it will start by running exactly that function, which is halfway through the rules, right, and can be like majorly embedded in the game. So you can like save the game at basically any point. The only issue is that you have to be careful about how many times you change the state in these functions, because if you give the player the chance to save halfway through this, right, and then they reload, this function is going to start from the beginning, and so you might allow the player to save at like a certain point and then reload the game, and they might be able to like hack things by doing that,
like save scumming and Slay the Spire.
Yeah, exactly, but like more intensely, where like they might be able to get multiple moves by, like if it's designed wrong. I'm saying like gotcha. if you design it wrong and like they get to the end, they save, they rerun, it's still in that state, they get to do a move again. You could just like probably do things like that, right?
Runners would have a field day.
Yeah, and so like we got to be careful about keeping those functions really small and really, really specific. But other than that, like it generally should work.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And it should work for all of the parts of the game. Like no matter what we do, it's always going to be just repeating this pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah,
makes sense.
And so in conclusion, like that was kind of like a Again, a lot of information without many visuals. In conclusion, what is implemented right now is the initial load of this game, and the responding, the response of the visualization, like the visual environment. I mean, loading up all of the visuals that represent the data, to the player. That makes sense?
Yes, it does make sense.
Yeah. And and so that's it. And so like what's gonna happen in now is in those like little state functions I was talking about, what I'm gonna implement is like in the let's look. So if we go to this run state here, we got a function here called like load next path. Okay. So when this is set to load next path, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna go to here and I'm gonna do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's gonna happen right away, and then it's probably gonna move to, let's have a look what it's called. It's probably gonna move to wanderer select segment, right? Because a wanderer is gonna need to select the next segment they want to go to. And so what's gonna happen in the path is that all of these here, these step clones, are gonna become interactable. So I'm gonna say set interactable this, and now they're interactable, and now I can choose one to click, right?
Oh, sick. Oh,
And,
yeah.
and then when I click it, it's then gonna move to the next segment, which is gonna be like wanderer selected segment. Okay, so wanderer select segment, I would click it. They would now have selected their segment, and then all of these would stop being interactable. So I go down here like this, do that. Now they're not interactable anymore, right? And then because I clicked on this one, it would go to, let's have a look, go to here, and we'll go to what? Probably like moved path or something, but it doesn't seem to be there. Maybe I was planning to embed it in this function here, but the wanderer would then move, right? So we'd go here. I know I'm being super verbose. I'm just trying to like really prove.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's good to be verbose.
Yeah, so I
Your
do this
verbosity
here
is
like that,
appreciated,
go like
James.
that, go like that, boom. So like, yeah, okay, you appreciate my verbosity?
Yes, it's actually pronounced
Thank you, I
verbosity.
appreciate that. British to American, you know?
Fucking Brit. Oh wait, verbosity is actually a word.
Yeah, sure. The amount of verboseness you are.
No,
It's how verbose you is.
It's actually a word, James. I'm looking at it right now in the dictionary.
Yeah, it's how verbose you is.
No, I'm serious. It exists.
I know it. I'm not joking. I know it exists. I'm not.
I felt like you were trolling me for a second there.
No. But like, you see how like, with the tooling now, we can like act out the logic of the game before the logic is created, which means that like, you can like, it's gonna take a bit of training. It's gonna take a bit of me showing you how to do it and like hand holding to help you do it. But all of these systems will allow you to create visuals before the logic of the game is created, if you want to, because you can act it out by hand, right? And then as the rules are implemented, you'll know that they're going to work, because basically what I'm doing by hand, by acting out the game, is exactly the same thing that the code is going to do. Because the functions that I'm calling are the same functions that the code calls, right? Like this button, like this invoke button, is just Odin giving us access to that function from the inspector. Yeah, because it's just like a simple attribute that I put on top of the actual function. So it's easy to work with.
What aspect is missing at this point?
What aspect?
No, I didn't word that question the way I wanted to word it. What maybe aspect is the right word. What aspect is it that will implement this logic? Is it the rules, or is it the, like, what is that?
The logic of the things moving and stuff?
Yeah, so you have all of the different, like, the I'm forgetting the words for these things that we use, but the different you have like the props, you have the controllers, you have the state
Yep.
machine,
Yep.
you have the rules, which
Yep.
is the state machine, right? Wait, which one's
Yep.
the state machine? Is that the rules?
So you've mixed up two terms. So the state machine and rules are the same thing.
Okay.
And the prop and controller are the same thing. I renamed controller to prop to make it
okay,
more
okay,
human friendly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the rules and the props, and you have
Yeah.
and then the it's the tokens that are the pieces, right? That's what we said. Yeah. And
The tokens are the pieces, and the zones are where the tokens go.
right. And how do those relate to the props?
They're all props. Like, so
They are
props are like
props.
the parent, and then yeah, a zone
Gotcha.
is a prop and a
Gotcha.
token is a prop. Yeah.
But my question is like what is it? What thing puts the logic, like the actual game logic together?
I would say that the rules. The rules are the most important piece. The second most important piece is their interaction with the visual environment.
Okay.
So,
I
yeah.
think here. Wait, let me rephrase that question then.
Yeah.
Why can't I play the game right now? Like, why can't we just press play and just play it?
Because the rules aren't implemented.
Okay, that's what I mean. What is it that
Yeah.
implements the rules?
Me. Wait,
No, but like,
maybe I'm misunderstanding your
what,
question. Yeah.
what is the script or the object
Oh,
or
yeah, yeah.
whatever it is
Yep.
that
It's
is gonna
this. It's
implement
this. It's these. These are the rules. All these functions here.
the rule? Okay. And where do you hook them up so that I can play the game?
They are hooked up here. So let me look. So you see this state machine here, this run state machine.
Mm-hmm.
They are getting, so the game runner calls run on this state machine,
Right.
and that runs the game.
Okay.
That's
So-
it.
So why can't it run? Like
Oh,
it
because
runs,
there's no logic in here right now.
right?
It does run. It does run. It runs right now with the rules that I've implemented, but the rules I've implemented are just like, I'll show you.
Where does the logic go? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, like, do you want to step through it?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Let's step from here. And let's hope that I'm not so bad at controlling my stuff right now that I fuck it up
Because
somehow.
you're like, you're playing the game through Odin, right? Basically.
No. That's not a good way to think about it. I'm
Okay.
not playing the game through Odin. Odin is only... At this point in our game, Odin has no impact on the game itself. It only has impact on the inspector. Because its job isn't the data and the functions and stuff like that. Its job is to be able to save those things.
So
And we're
okay.
not saving them yet. Yeah.
Oh, we're not. So we're not mutating the state, is what you're saying.
No. We are mutating the state. Saving, like, what's really important to understand here is that saving and loading means saving the data when the game stops running.
Yes, that's what Odin
Wha-
does.
Yeah, while the game is running, Odin isn't involved in how the data changes. Right?
Okay.
Odin's only involved in, like, when I want to stop the game, that I save that data into the file system. And then when I want to load the game back, I take that data from the file system and put it in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But once it's in the game and, like, the logic of the game is running, Odin is not involved.
What I'm having trouble understanding is
Yeah.
what is the logic of the game? Like, why isn't it? Because it seems like it's there, but like you can't play the game.
But it's not there because, like, there's no, like, so these functions
Mm-hmm.
are not filled in with any logic, right? Like, this function, run wanderer select segment, doesn't run the wanderer select interaction. It just logs this and then terminates, right? So
So then,
the
how are
game,
you doing it right now? Then
How am I doing what?
Like, how are you making the object, like the path selectable, like interactive?
How am I making that visible?
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you. Let's just run through it. Do like that. There, it seems to have not connected
Because
properly.
you're calling the function with the Odin interface, right?
No, I'm not. It's not the Odin interface. What Odin does is it exposes things here, but in code, I'm not calling it through Odin, right?
Okay, what are you calling
Odin
it
is
through?
through just the regular functions that I've created.
Okay.
Like maybe if we, so if I press run and I'm going the debugger,
Mhm.
I'll stop having to bounce back and forth, and you'll be able to see in like actual code what's happening. Okay, so here we are, Rick. So we got to run, and we have the running state that got generated, right?
Uh-huh.
So we have the state, and the running state knows stuff like active player and all fruits and stuff like that. This is actually a confusing way to look at it. Maybe this will be better. No, active path. It's just showing me more than I want it to show you. I want it to show you only the public stuff. If I look at the state, look, this will be obvious, I think. So here's my state. And it defines like the machine state, who's the active player, what's the active path, all players, what's all the fruit that are available, what's the upcoming paths. And so if we look at the state here, go down to the upcoming paths. Where's that upcoming paths? Here, like so. And this is all the data about like the upcoming paths.
Okay.
So this path has 2 fruit in it, right? And it has, don't ignore all this extra stuff. Don't worry about it. It has wanderers as well.
Okay.
So we have wanderers and we have fruit. Okay. And all of these paths are like this. Then what happens is nothing is loaded yet. So you're not going to see any visuals on the screen. Like this, you can't see any visuals on the screen because we're in the debugger, but you still can. Nothing's loaded. So if I go into this function, if I go into run like this, I start here in the run function. And this is the thing that wasn't highlighted before, right? And so the run function has the state that I just passed it. And it has this thing called signals, but this is just there so that we can quit the game. Okay, so don't worry about that. And then we go through, don't worry about the GUID. I think that doesn't really belong here anymore. We say the state equals state, so that don't worry about that. That's just setting this state so that we can reference it later. And then what we do is we do this function called await pre-run. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And if I go into await pre-run, you'll see that this pre-run here is defined in my run rules.
Okay.
Because run state machine is run rules.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what we do is we do run rules and we do this initial load, and that uses the visual environment to load the state. And so if we go into this now, we end up in, don't worry about that. Here we are. We end up in initial load here. And this is where a bunch of logic is happening to load up the visualization. So we get all the prefabs from the service, and then we say, damn it, it's because after a wait, it doesn't always. Sorry, let me get the state back to where it was. Sec. I'm just gonna get the breakpoint back to there.
Okay.
I fucked something up. It was my fault. I just fucked up a control.
I knew it.
There we are. Here we are. So we get back to here, visual environment load, and then we get to here, right? So what we're doing, right, is we're saying, okay, the path equals create a path for me, and then get the accordion component, and then we're saying, set the transform, to the right place on the board, set the parent, start creating the items that go in the accordion, right? Get the upcoming paths from the state to get all the paths. We have 20 paths in here, right? And then for each path, we're going to create this end piece accordion item, which is like the visual. So this is the data. The upcoming path is just information, but this is actually like a item. This is actually a thing that visualizes these things.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
So we create those. So I move forward. And so in items now, I have 20 items. And these are now the end piece accordion items, which come with a color. And they come with the prefab that's used to create the end piece visually.
Okay.
Okay. And so then what I do is I call path.load with data. And this load with data function is part of all props. All props can do this. And I pass it those items. And then this function here is going to handle like creating all of the objects in the scene.
Okay.
Okay. And we're not going to dig through down into that. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this to the bottom here and say like, so here I'm creating the wanderers. Here's I'm creating all the fruits. I'm loading the fruits up with data. And then I'm like telling the zones to accept the fruits, right? So I'm literally using the controls of zones and tokens to create tokens, which are fruit tokens, and then put them in the zones of the end pieces. Do you get that? Maybe I'll spend a bit more time here. So
yeah, continue.
continue. Okay. So yeah. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna spend a bit more time here just
Yeah.
because
Go for it.
I want to make it clear.
Please do.
So here, this for loop, right? It goes paths. It goes into each upcoming path, and it grabs it. So it says, this is the path data. Okay. This is the path visual, right? It's not really shown by the names here. I just know this because I know what these objects are. So this is going to have all the information from the state, and this is going to be the visual game object that represents it in the game world.
Yes.
Okay. And then it looks at the this, which is the state data, and says for every fruit that you have, give me a fruit game object, which is a simple token, and then add that simple token to the fruit zone, which is the zone where the fruits go for the end piece. And so, okay, we can't see a visual yet, so I can't point to anything. And then we do the exact same thing with the wanderers. So we say like, state data, tell me all the wanderers that are supposed to be on this upcoming path. Make a visual, right? And then tell the enemy zone to accept this visual so that we can visualize all the enemies that end piece has, right? So we don't need to understand this in detail, but on a high level, we can understand that this is taking data that is just numbers and converting it into visual stuff that we can see on the screen.
Okay.
Right. And then we have this is just the same thing repeated. Like this is the waiting area that is on the left-hand side that you'll see in a sec. This is the player, which is just another wanderer. And so we do all of this, and we get to the end of this function here, right? And I'll just move the thingy forward, go to there. I'll just move it forward to there. So with the end of function now, all of that's been called. And if we just take a quick look at the code from before, like all of this has been run through this function, right? So what'll happen is once I move past this, where was I? Run state, run here in the visual environment. So if I move forward now, I end up back in the pre-run function because I've finished my function and come back up here, right? Of the rules. So this is the pre-run function of the rules or the state machine. And then if I move forward from this, again, I'm going to end up at the pre-run function of the state machine as well, actually, because this is the run function. And then if I move forward, I'm going to start running this state machine. Okay.
Yes.
So we go while true. What's the machine state? And then it's going to say the machine state is load next path. So it's like, okay, great. So then it says, I better do the function run load next path. So I'll step into that. And then look at that. We're in run next path. Run load next path. It does debug.log. So it logs what the name of the state, because it's just a empty function right now.
Mm-hmm.
It awaits the frame because of the test we were doing before.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and then it goes to here and it says, return update next wanderer. So if I go back here, this is now set to update next wanderer. And then the state here, we set the machine state to update next wanderer. Okay?
Yes.
That's all that's happening here. We're saying machine state equals next update next wanderer. We move forward, we break, and then we await next frame, because apparently I await next frame between states. I don't know why I do that, but apparently I do that.
That's
and
probably why it took 2 clicks before.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why it took 2 clicks. And so then we move to here and we do the same thing again. What's the machine state now? Can you guess? It's update next wanderer. It's
Right.
update next wanderer because of we just called into that, right?
Okay.
So we set the state to update next wanderer here,
Mm-hmm.
because this here returned it, right?
Oh, right. Okay.
Right.
Uh-huh.
This returned it, and then this set it to that. So now we get here, and now it's just going to go into update next wanderer here, and then we get to there, we go into it. Now we're in the update next wanderer function, and then we just log, right? We wait a frame, we go to here, terminate, like so. Oh, oops, did I pass something? Let me just get it back to the switch statement here. Okay, so we return terminate, and so the exact same thing would have happened, right? Like this return terminate, and then this set it to terminate, like so. And terminate is just a special state where if I look, it ends the state machine. So what happens is it does the post run function. It disposes all the things that need disposing, and then it returns. Okay? And so then when I do return, I get to the end of the function, and then I end up, I don't know why that's happening. That's something to do with the asynchronousness, but I'll show you where it ends up. It ends up back at the beginning. Oh my God, there it is, the game runner. So what's going to happen is it's going to now return. It's going to end up back here, and then it's going to finish off the game runner, the run function, basically. And it has, because I pressed play, and yeah, now it's over. So the state machine is no longer running, basically. Because the way that it's currently set up, it just does 2 states and then terminates. But what would happen in a real game, right, is it wouldn't terminate right away. It would run a state and then wait for the player to interact. And then it would just sit there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the player would interact, and then it would take that information, do something to the state, mutate the state, we call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would mutate the state, and then it would run to the next state in the state machine. And then it would wait for the player again. And then it would keep doing that over and over and over and over again until the game determined itself as over, and then it terminated.
Yeah.
And that's the whole system.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Still a
and
little
so
tricky to wrap your head around, but I think I understand a little bit more.
it's tricky, and like it's a bit sad because, well, not sad, it's like it's necessary, but this is all very visualizable.
Mm-hmm.
it just takes a lot of work to write visualizers for it,
Right.
right? And I'm so used to looking at code that I can deal with the fact that it's all this like linear jumping around between functions.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it is visualizable as like a kind of like animation graph, you know? Like the animation graph in Unity pretty much does the same thing as that state machine stuff does.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I see. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
That makes sense.
And so yeah, so that's how the game's set up, is like as a finite state machine, which is the same thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so for me to be able, so for this game to now be playable by us, I need to figure out what those states are, and implement them, and implement the functions that run them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So like you need to add the player interaction and stuff.
Yeah, and so a lot of the what you call it, the tools are there. Like I can set player interaction, I can know what path was clicked, I can move the tokens from zone to zone.
Mm-hmm.
That already exists, so I don't have to do any of that work. I just need to now tell it when to move them from zone to zone.
Gotcha.
Right?
Totally. Yeah, I get it now. That makes sense.
Yeah. And so I'm hoping that next week I'll be able to show you some of that, right? Like actually moving around and stuff. Yeah.
Sweet, dude. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. I think these sessions are really good for this, because I think what we should do, if I lay out a quick plan, is I should get the game going into prototype level, right? Where you can play the game in my skeleton like art, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you should be the one screen sharing, and I will guide you through and teach you on stream how to interact with the system to update the visuals.
Yeah, that's a good
Right?
idea. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
And I think we do that one time for one game, and it'll make everything from that point onwards so much easier.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Because I can't see a lot of this changing game to game.
That makes sense. Okay, sick. Yeah. I think after this
Yeah.
game we might be in a really good flow.
I think so too, and I
Yeah.
think we might even have a decent game out of this game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think after that we should start thinking about doing stuff like audience helping us playtest our games.
Yes. Definitely.
You know?
Yeah. I think so. I think yeah.
We can even have like guest people come in and be like, "Okay, your job is to come in and help us test our game."
I like that idea. I also like I also thought about a version of this game, the version I was telling you about that I had thought about. I think I have a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cool.
yeah.
Do you wanna tell us what it is, or should we wait?
I can give you like I can do like let me screen share quickly
Yeah.
and then boom.
I'll go back to Discord.
So sure. Okay. You see?
I don't. Let me look. Am I still screen sharing? Oh, I am.
You are.
Thought I stopped it.
Watch
There
my
we go.
stream, you
Yeah, I see now.
ingrate. Okay. Okay, so basically, what you have is you have like the you have the cells, right? Each one. I don't want to
Yep.
fill it. Wait, how do I unfill it? Oh yeah, because it's not a vector. Not filled. Okay, perfect. So you have the have your cells. I'm still learning to control this garbage software.
Why are you using it?
Because it's free.
Yeah, fair.
Photoshop
Because,
is very expensive.
Yeah, I guess it's for design. It's good. Because I was thinking for Obsidian, we could use Obsidian's drawing software, maybe instead of Figma, and then we don't have to pay for Figma.
That's a good idea.
And it's not bad actually. It's just a bit more jank because it's open source and stuff. But it's like
Yeah,
the
you
data.
told me
We
about
own the data, so we can put it on GitHub.
You told me about Obsidian. I remember now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's just markdown files basically. So.
whatever. How many hundred? I think I don't know how many you have, but you have a lot, and these would all be like in a straight line, right?
Yeah, sure.
And what you have is you have the player, and you have the what you have is you have enemies that are like along the path, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, here, whatever, they're randomly placed, and they're all of different powers, and then you
Mhm.
have like the boss at the end. And basically what you're doing
Nice.
the whole way through is you have 2 points. You have movement points and you have punching power. And basically
Mhm.
the theme is like the whole way through, as you're going through, your character is trying to charge up the strongest punch in the world. And so what happens is you basically you land on spots that either like will give you extra movement points or extra punching
Yeah.
power. And basically every turn you can use an amount of movement points to move as far as you want. You can never go backwards, and every time if you land on the same square as an enemy, you have to use your punching power to beat that enemy. But if the enemy has
Yeah.
more punching power than you, he beats you, and you lose. The run's over at that point. And but if you go past the enemy, they start playing, so they can catch up to you. And so if I get here and I see I don't have enough punching power, I'll just use my movement points to skip over him. But the thing is, if I skip over him, he starts playing, so he can ramp up behind me as I'm moving forward.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he can't move onto you.
He can. So you have to kind of like move far ahead enough that he can't catch up to you right away, and then like either get strong enough so that if he does land on you, you would win.
Can't he always move up to you right away? Because he can move infinite forward, right? So.
No, he can't move infinite forward. They would have movement points too.
Oh, okay.
So
so there's a constraint on the movement. You can use as many movement points as you have.
Yes.
To move. So if you have like 3 move, you can move up to
You can
3
move
a turn.
3 ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
I see.
On your turn.
Got it.
Yeah.
So on the first turn, would you just go to every square, basically?
Yeah, kind of. What I would do is I would have it so that you start with an enemy as well. So you kind of like, you want to go to everyone, but maybe you don't want to fight him right away, or you do, so you'll jump ahead to get like more punching power depending on how the grid is
I can
set
see
up.
that. That's kind of cool how that works. And like you could also, enemies could have different colors or something, and like you need different kinds of punches.
I think I would make it just like you only have one like punching color.
Yeah.
There's only punching power and movement points are the only 2 things, so that you can kind of build the synergies of like the relics that you get around like using punching power to like you can every turn you convert X punching power to movement points or vice versa kind of thing, or like different kinds of synergies around just the 2 elements.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's really cool actually. I don't know whether it would be a game that would work off the exact same state, but it would work off something very similar.
Yeah, I
So
was wondering.
we could probably keep this in the bag, copy paste the game that we like the Genkido game, copy paste it, modify it slightly, and then make this game out of it. It's gonna be a good experiment, I think.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to bring it into Tabletop Sim and prototype it too.
Yeah, for sure. We could totally do that. We could do that on stream maybe next time, or maybe in a few weeks once we've had time to try and get through Genkido a bit more.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think it's bad to have like one game that's like in like polishing phase, and then another game being designed.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
No,
Um,
I think it'd be
Keeps
fun
our content
to design
changing.
a lot of games.
Yeah, me too. I think it would be fun to design a lot of games and try and get to the point where we can um, pump them out quick, because like the the thing that we will get from Genkido is a lot of the props will work the same way. It's just that the state machine will have to change. The rules will have to change, but the props will all basically be the same. And we can just reuse the props from Genkido and then
Yeah, exactly.
only switch them out to things that are more about this game later. You know?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's awesome.
yeah. Yeah, I think I need to find a place to write all this stuff down. Keep the ideas
Yeah.
in a vault.
Yeah, so hopefully I'll have time to like implement the proper logic and
Yeah.
fix all the bugs.
Yeah, definitely. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah, well, we'll see. You'll see next stream latest. So
That's true. Yeah. We might have to talk about changing our schedule because I'm gonna be driving into Montreal every day starting in May, and I'm gonna have to go to bed fucking early, so I won't be able to stream
Yeah, we
in the
can-
evening anymore.
we can change the schedule. That's fine.
Yeah. Cool.
We'll work around it however is needed.
Yeah, it'll only be till September, so yeah. I think we can end it here. Actually, I'm gonna go to bed because I'm exhausted.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, let's end it here. I wanted to end it too. So
Cool.
cool, great session, and
Bye, everybody.